Unfortunately, crime is and always will be part of society. It hurts every community, and Spokane is no exception. And our city size may seem like it struggles with a bad reputation, one that suggests crime is not only preventable, but constantly on the rise. KXLY's Casey Lund joins us in the studio tonight with a special report. And Casey, you looked into how people perceive crime and how that perception compares to actual crime numbers. What did you learn?
Well, Nadine, a really fascinating process learning all this. Going to crime scenes, we hear neighbors and witnesses tell us crime was never this bad, things are getting worse, and it's that assumption, and is that assumption true? That's what we wanted to know. Is the city deteriorating? Are criminals really taking over? Tonight in a KXLY 4 reality check, we break down the numbers behind the rumors about crime in Spokane.
Well, I suppose in comparison to other places, it's not so bad, but it's not good.
One shooting the other in the head.
Yeah, the shooting suspect, 28-year-old.
I do feel like it is definitely increasing for sure.
23.
Tense moments in Brown's edition tonight.
It doesn't matter where you live.
Police tonight also looking for a South Hill bank robber.
Whether you're a victim or a concerned neighbor, crime is just part of the world we live in. And for whatever reason, our city has an image problem. You may have heard the nicknames about the town that wants to be known as an all-American city. So why is that? Maybe we just see it more.
I think you do on television. If you watch television at all, you're going to get it on the news.
Too much too much on TV. And no matter where you put your station, what station you're on, you're going to get something.
We find out about things happening, immediately, where years back, you had to read the newspaper to find out about that.
Have you heard of the Spokane news on Facebook? I kind of follow that, and so it seems pretty obnoxious, all the stuff that's going on.
Rapid-fire tweets and Facebook posts give you up-to-the-second police activity. Some outlets even share scanner traffic with their followers.
So if that gets reported, it creates sometimes a picture that's not 100% accurate.
Spokane Police Chief Frank Straub is new in Spokane, but not to the world of law enforcement. Straub holds a PhD in criminal justice and has a career that spans the country. He says intensified media coverage is part of the issue, but doesn't answer the question. Why do people think crime in Spokane is worse than ever?
Crime is going down in the city of Spokane. It's been going down ever since January.
In the 2 years before Straub got here, some crimes were trending slightly upward, but nothing more than small random spikes. However, looking at the graphs from over 20 years ago for the city and unincorporated areas of the county, property crimes were a lot more common in 1989 than they were in 2011. The same goes for violent crime. Both the city and the county had higher violent crime rates 20 years ago than they do now. So what gives?
Your experience is very much colored by what's happened recently. So if we do have a couple shootings, or we do have 2 or 3 burglaries, or there is a big fight downtown, a bar-related fight, everybody goes, oh my God, right? We tend to look at it over, the longer spectrum.
Sheriff Knezovich knows that spectrum better than most. 20 years in law enforcement, the majority spent right here.
We're at the lowest level of violent crime in the unincorporated areas in the last 2 decades.
From patrol to the SWAT team, Knezovich has served Spokane County under just about every rank and title the sheriff's office has to offer. He became sheriff in 2006, 2 years after a policy decision that would change the way people perceive crime in Spokane.
One of the biggest mistakes that was ever made in local law enforcement was it was decided to close Crime Check down.
The effects shown here, numbers for the county and city combined, show a drastic drop in property crime starting in 2004. But it wasn't that those crimes weren't happening.
A lot of frustration. A lot of frustration was happening at that time because people were used to Crime Check. Crime Check had been in operation nearly 30 years, and people started getting frustrated and stopped reporting crime.
They call it the Crime Check dip. It helps explain why people think crime has spiked in Spokane. When the reporting system returned in 2008, naturally, crime numbers came up to numbers more consistent with those before it went away.
Nothing changed, folks. That was because you couldn't report crime.
The sheriff's office has been in damage control mode ever since.
It had a psychological ramification that went deep into this community, and we're trying to get that driven out, that we are going to respond to your crimes.
The county's more serious crimes have also dropped since the 2006 creation of the Violent Crimes Task Force.
And we've watched violent crime in this community come down about 23%.
So, despite what you see, these are the facts. Crime here isn't as bad as you may think. But the two men in charge of keeping us safe want more. Knezovich working to get total county numbers closer to the state average.
That's exactly what our target should be.
Chief Straub to keep numbers moving down across the board.
We will begin going below zero. Any crime increase above zero is unacceptable to me as a police chief. It's unacceptable to us as a police department.
Nadine, Sheriff Knezovich was very happy to share with me a study of violent crimes done in 2011. It shows that in the unincorporated areas, Spokane County is the second safest county to call home in Washington state. As far as property crimes go, the only place seeing a rise is Spokane Valley. The Sheriff's Department has developed a statistically driven approach to deal with that. They say will only work, though, if people continue to use Crime Check. In the studio, Casey Lund, KXLY 4 News.